Hi! So I'm gonna try and do my first tutorial today on something that I get asked pretty often. I'm not sure how helpful it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be helpful, but I've also never filmed a tutorial before. So I have no idea how this is gonna turn out. But I get a lot of questions and tweets and emails and that sort of thing asking people how I get my cleanup so perfect. First off, my cleanup is far from perfect. It's definitely something that I spend a fair amount of time doing. So that's the first thing. It's not perfect. I don't know if it's possible. I personally am not able to get a perfect manicure every time I do it, but I am able to get a clean manicure, a tidy looking manicure, and that's really what I will settle for. I hate when I see people that have polish like on their skin and it's like drowning their cuticles and everything else like that. It really bothers me. So, but again, that's just my personal opinion. So I'm going to be using red because I know that that's the color that most people think that we Photoshop on. Cleaning up reds is difficult. The more perfect that you can get your polishing job when you're using red, the easier it's going to be to clean up. And I'm saying this and kind of laughing internally because my cleanup's never perfect and it's going to be far from it when I'm trying to do this too, or my polishing. But I will show you guys how I do it. So all you're going to need is some nail polish remover or acetone. You can use either or. I personally prefer acetone because it's more efficient. Honestly, it's also obviously harder on your cuticles and your skin. It will dry it out. I just use a moisturizer after. It's not really that big of a deal to me. So acetone, a cleanup brush, or Q-tips. I know some people use Q-tips. Some people use those little Q-tips that have like the little points on the end. Whatever your preference is, use that. Whatever you feel most comfortable using, use that. And then obviously your base coat and your nail polish and your top coat. So I'm gonna go remove this manicure and get my nails prepped with a base coat. And yeah, so if you want to see how, I guess how to get that, I don't want to say picture perfect, but that tidy looking manicure, then just keep on watching. Alrighty, so I've got my nails prepped with, oh my god, I'm so shaky today. I've had too much caffeine. So I've got my nails prepped with a base coat. In this case, I decided that I was going to use a matte, so I just used an OPI Ridge filler, which would be this guy here. So yeah. And the nail polish that I decided to use today is one that I just got. It's a Nails Ink polish, and it's called Gatwick. So first off, I did just want to mention while I've done it that I always start my manicures off by wrapping my tips there, because I've always got some free edge, and I just find it really helps make my manicures look cleaner. So wrapping the tips there. So all you would do is polish like your little bit of free edge. I find it's helpful to hold my hand like this and kind of just trail the brush along, and that's really going to help make it look nice and tidy. So that's one tip there. Alrighty, so that first coat is on there. As you can see, I was messy. So I'm just going to start with my pinky because that's always where I start my cleanup, and just drag the brush along the bottom like that. And I always switch angles multiple times while I'm cleaning up because I find it easier that way. So when I do, I guess when I flip my hand like this, what would be the outer portion of my nail, like the parts of my hand that face my pinky basically, I find it easier to do it this way. So that's just a preference. So I've got a little bit of red on my cuticle there. Part of the reason I chose red was because it would be very obvious when I was talking about any mistakes or anything that I made. I'm sorry about like the happy face band-aid on my thumb. I was making myself a sandwich and cutting the bun open, and I just like slipped and caught my thumb with it because I'm an idiot. So yeah. And so this is obviously after the first coat. You can see it's a little bit patchy and uneven in some areas. So I hope to fix that on the second coat. This is a new polish that I have. I haven't really used it much, so I'm not sure. Well, I haven't used it before except on my thumb, but I can say of Nails in Gatwick, I couldn't remember the name of it, that I'm pleasantly surprised by the formula. The formula of it is quite nice. Dries really fast. It's nice, easy to control. It doesn't dry so fast that it's like impossible to work with. Have you ever worked with a mat like that? I had one once and it was an absolute nightmare, so I'm glad that this one isn't. Would you believe that I didn't own a single matte red? I'm gonna show you guys what happened with my cleanup there in just a second. This is a perfect example of why I clean up after each coat rather than at the end of the manicure, because I can fudge the lines a little easier. So what happened is I went up too high on one side on my middle finger during cleanup. So that sucks, but that's okay because, you know, the second coat that I'm going to do is to help intensify the color and even everything out, obviously, but also I do it for reasons exactly like this, because I do clean up my nails a little too vigorously sometimes. And I'm sorry if my music's too loud in the background. It's playing in another room, but I'm not sure how loud it's gonna come out on camera, so yeah. So I'm just working on the side of my nails now. Part of the reason that I decided to do this video is because there was a thread on Makeup Alley. I'm sure there are at least a few of you watching that are on there, where somebody said that she thinks that nail bloggers Photoshop, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I don't remember who it was, and the thread has since been deleted, and I'm not trying to like call this person out or anything else like that. Just for me, I was like, oh, I'm nowhere near adept at Photoshop, or nowhere near enough, like adept enough. That's the word order that I want. Alrighty, hopefully that's visible. So what I'm doing is pulling my cuticle back here and tracing the brush along there because I flooded my cuticle here. And as happens when you flood your cuticle, it, you know, looks the color that you're using, but in my case it's looking a little bloody. A little bit of fuzz there. So I'm just going to keep adjusting my angle and everything else like that until I'm happy with what I'm working on here. Alrighty, so coat number 2 is done. So this one was relatively incident free, just kind of you'll find as you keep, if you're one of those people that doesn't polish their nails that often, you'll find that as you start to polish them more, there will always be spaces or spots, I guess, where you have issues. That's that there. So there you go. Quote unquote picture perfect manicure, just a tidy manicure in my opinion. it doesn't take, I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't take that long, because it definitely can, but as you kind of get more adept at what you're doing, it does get easier. So yeah. I hope this has been helpful. It's pretty basic stuff. But these are good tips that you can use to, you can use to apply to any manicure. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful, and thank you all for watching. And I don't know, if more tutorials are something that you would like to see in the future, definitely let me know, and let me know if there's a particular tutorial that you would like me to do. The other one that I get requested fairly often would be how to actually do a manicure. So if that's something you guys would want to see, definitely let me know and I will get that done. Thanks for watching. Bye!